Hi, Prof.
Yes, Tajia. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
Okay.
Okay, good evening to everybody and welcome to another edition of the Literary Hour. Um, I'm Jackie Sae, and with me, as always, is Professor K. Moses Nagwe.
Yeah. Okay.
And today we're going to do something a little bit. Can you hear me, Prof?
Yes, Jackie, I'm
Yes.
hearing you.
We're going to do something a little bit different in that we're going to discuss words, the tricks that words play on us. It's not going to be a book or anything, but we're going to discuss the ways we struggle with words, the mistakes that we make with words. And Prof is going to guide us because he's our teacher. So, Prof, I'll turn it over to you.
No problem. I think we'll be guiding each other. It's normally we have this long list of intense discussion. For this one, there's more of, if you write, if you read, and all that, there are times that certain words, the mind has a way of playing the tricks first, and then it gets to the words. We see a pair of words, and we is it the right one I'm using? I'm not
Yes.
sure. And then, of course, some people are lazy, or maybe they are kind of detached. They just say, "Well, I'll write something." The person will understand what I'm doing. And at the heart of it all is that, when we talk about writing, when we talk about reading and all that, there is an element of thinking
Yes.
about ourselves. It's like the clothes that we wear. There are some people who are very careful, who are very meticulous about what they wear. And there are some people, we call them ruffians, they just wear anything and go out. So what we are talking about today may not mean anything to some people. They just write and, like I said, think that, well, if the person understands it, that's the person's business. But there are some people who want to make sure, and yet words being what they are, language being what they are, how hard you try, sometimes something slips through the cracks and what have you. But it's just a fun evening today. For instance, when you have a pair of words like uh, session and section. I'm going to a specific moment in a course. So you talk about session, but then a session. If there are so many students, you want to talk about sections. SECTION as opposed to SESSION. And you can think about some of them as we go through. When I say so, I mean you, I'm talking about the audience. Maybe some words that pull trick on you and you laugh about it and all that kind of a thing. Sometimes the laughing matter, but sometimes the serious matter,
It's serious.
especially
Yes.
especially
Yes.
when you are maybe writing a letter of recommendation or writing an application or something of that, or a report, all those things. You might want to share one time that you had it bad and you just beat up yourself for making such a mistake. So why do those things occur? When do they occur, and other kind of a thing? So that's what probably we are running through today.
Yes. And knowing the root of words is also important, whether it's pre or post and things
Mm-hmm.
like that, prefixes or that is also important
Mm-hmm.
when you're writing. And
Yeah.
we've all made mistakes. I've gone through newspapers, not only in Liberia, but other places, and I just wish that they would take these newspapers and use the students that are majoring in English at the university
Yeah.
or even in high school and say, you know what, this is something that you can do. You can go through
Yeah.
and look at it, because sometimes when you put them up, we read it and we say, oh my God. And also social media,
Yeah.
people I saw like BRB, and I say to my daughter, what's that? And she said, oh, be right back. So people are so used to social media that they don't take the time to really write. And of course, social media is rife with uh, 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 wrong usage of words and
Mm-hmm.
misspelled words. So today there's no preaching. We're just going to talk a little bit about but sometimes words that we misuse,
Mm-hmm.
words that are very closely connected,
Mm-hmm.
and then the wrong usage of words and things like that. I know, as we said, it's not um, about a book, but this is also very important. Yeah. So we our thing was choose your words.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
we want to show that also even authors also make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Prof and I, when we're doing our research, we found that Huckleberry Finn, the great Mark Twain,
Uh-huh.
there's a book, the first edition, that has two errors, and they're saying that that book is worth $160,000
Mm-hmm.
because of those two errors. So we talk about the Bible, the 1631 King James Version said, "Thou shalt commit adultery," and that was just an omission
Yeah,
of saying, "Thou shalt not." But as you can see, "Thou
yeah.
shalt commit adultery," number 14, I think 14. So that was a mistake. The Pasta Bible by Lee Blakehock say an automatic spell check corrected a misspelling of the word pepper to people,
Yeah.
right? Saying that, okay, you can put a salt and freshly grounded black people, very, very bad, right? Or the Queen's Governess, right? The book, the quote is, "In the weak light of dawn,
Yeah.
tucked on the gown and sleeves, I discarded like a wanton last night to fall
Yeah.
into John's arm." It
Mm-hmm.
should be wanton
Mm-hmm.
instead of wanton. So there are a lot of mistakes that people make. So, Prof, how do you want us to proceed? Should we just jump in, or you gonna?
Yeah, we just jump in. And the thing about it, maybe along the way okay, some of these errors come out of mere rushing.
Yes,
Some of them come out, if we're talking about mere rushing, then the whole question of being meticulous is out of the window.
yeah,
One has to be very meticulous about what is done, and yet, they always, I think, devil's print or something like that. That's what they say. It's you try as much as possible, and one of the things I've even realized is that however hard you try, there's bound to be that mischievous error that slips through your care and what have you, and it becomes so rushing through in a case where you have to be meticulous. And sometimes it comes out of ignorance. Those who are interested in writing and sometimes even want to publish and what have you, they have to be very careful. If it is out of ignorance, then of course it is about time that you really took up time to do quite a good study about words, so that you don't make blatant mistakes and what have you. The rushing we can see, but the ignorance is something that is very serious. And then another area is, and that probably goes for younger people, it's got to do with what kind of reading culture do you have? What is your reading habit? If
yes,
you don't have a strong reading habit or reading culture, then there is a possibility that you will get into malapropisms and all these things that will really affect you. So make sure you try as much as possible to be diligent, meticulous about what you're doing, and make sure you respect language by making sure the words that you use are well thought out, so that you know what you are writing. If you know what you are writing, in some instance, when something goes wrong, somebody will say, "No, this person, I don't know this person to be that careless person. Something must have gone wrong." If you get to establish that relationship with your audience, then that is very important, that they know whatever is there is not really an error that you commit. But if you are all over the place and what have you, then people will begin to say, "No, this person is a careless writer." And if there's a careless writer, people won't want to really read you. They want to move on to something else.
it's true. And as Prof says, the more you read, the more you have a repository of words,
Yeah.
and then you can draw on that
Mhm.
repository when you're writing. I find it easy to not use spell check right away, because spell check might change a word
Mhm.
that is the correct word,
Mhm.
like we saw with the pepper being changed
Mhm.
to people.
Mhm.
Both words, they're spelled correctly,
That
but
is
that's
a strong
word to
point you are
you.
making over there. Eh,
Yeah,
These days, the spell check thing, that is a very, very strong where and we need to emphasize that.
Yeah.
Spell check will give you sometimes what you don't intend, but if
What
you
you don't
know
intend.
what you are looking for, if you get to spell check, you will be able to say, no, my friend, you're trying to just sway me off my path and my path, and so I have to really correct you instead of you correcting me.
Yeah. So today is going to be real interactive. So we got some words from all over Facebook, and we're going to just go down it, and feel free to jump in,
Yeah,
and join us in
just for the fun of it. Yeah,
for the fun of it. Okay, right? So yeah, we go, Prof.
yeah, yeah.
So we have immoral
Immoral.
and immoral,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
right? They're both adjectives,
Mm-hmm.
but immoral is not having a sense of right and wrong.
Yes.
But immoral means like something wicked,
Yes.
something wrong,
Mm-hmm.
right?
That's true.
So yeah, so people tend to use immoral when they're using immoral. He's an
Yeah.
immoral person, but
Yeah.
that means he doesn't care whether it's good or bad.
Too bad. Yes.
He doesn't care. But immoral person is somebody doing something wrong,
Yes.
doing something wicked.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. I'll let you take the next one. Confident and confidant.
Confident. Okay. Okay. Now, confident. When you get even to confident, you know that the what is over there is a male, and for the female, an e is added.
Yeah, confidant. Yeah,
Yeah, it's rooted in French.
yeah.
Yeah, confident. Yeah, confident is believing in yourself.
Yes,
Is believing in yourself. And that other one has to do with uh, you know confiding in someone.
yeah.
Confiding in someone. If it is a male, that's T, and if it is a woman, it's what T E.
TE,
Yes.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
And a confidant is a noun, right?
Yes.
It's
Uh-huh.
my buddy. This my confidant,
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
right?
Yes.
And
And that.
confident is an adjective, which
Yes.
means you
Yes. You trust yourself. That's what.
trust yourself.
Yeah. When in Liberia, people say when chicken white, it means that person believes himself and what have you, and therefore do whatever. Yeah.
And then we have complicit and implicit.
Complicit.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes. Complicit. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Implicit.
Oh, sorry, Prof. Can you see?
We are. What are we doing? We're going along the road. I thought we were going across. Okay. Yes. So,
Yeah.
in fact,
Oh,
we
sorry.
forgot.
Illicit and illicit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The illicit and illicit.
Yeah.
So one is it's against the law, and the other one is to request.
Yeah. Yeah.
The first one
Illicit is
is
a
to
verb
request.
to draw out.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm eliciting Prof's
Mhm,
advice,
mhm.
right? But illicit is something unlawful.
Oh yes, like
Yeah.
illicit drugs and all that kind of a thing.
Yeah. Illicit drugs. So then
Oh,
complicit and implicit, Prof.
yeah, yes, implicit.
And you guys join in.
Uh-huh. When you talk about complicit, it has to do with being laxed, all right, not taking interest in something and what have you, or letting something just slide by.
Yeah.
Implicit has to do with indirect.
Yes.
All right, and that sort of a
Yes.
thing.
Implied. Yeah. Between. Oh, this one is wrong usage. I see a lot of people say between
Mm-hmm.
when you're saying among, because a between is two people.
Yeah, between it's two people. Yes, between two.
Among more than two.
More than two. That's what it is. Yes, that's
Yeah.
and people make that so easily.
Yeah. Yeah. I see that all the time. I was between all these people. No.
Yes,
You weren't between all
you
those
were
people.
you were
You're
among
between
them.
two people, but you were among a lot of people. Yeah. And effect and effect.
Yeah, that other one is
You guys
also
join in.
that other one is one of the popular ones.
Yeah.
Affect. It affects people.
Yeah.
Affect people. Effect happen to be the what?
Consequence.
A consequence. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So effect is the consequence.
Now the thing about it is that is the thing about language, especially the English language. Effect, even though we are talking about impact and what have you, it can also be a verb,
Yes.
which is to carry out. Okay.
To carry out.
I
Yeah.
will effect the plan when I come back from from studies. All
Yeah.
right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Effect is to produce.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Affect.
Yeah. And this one is kind of like peak, peak, peak.
Yeah. Peak. Yeah. You get a good line or two of poetry from it over there.
Yes.
Uh,
So to peak,
okay.
to
It's
PEEK,
to spy.
to spy
To spy to look into. Peak is the height.
the height,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
and peak,
It's almost like that, but it has to do with interest.
yeah,
So
to stimulate the
to
interest.
stimulate, yeah, to pick the
Yeah.
interest.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this one, I see a lot of people, they use it. I sometimes use it to who and
Mhm.
that.
Yeah, I think because of kind of the smoothness of it, so that even if you get to Grammarly, sometimes because that can apply to things that can apply. Earlier on, the whole thing was that was supposed to be merely for things
Yes.
where you have used who, but now who and that are used interchangeably, and then whom is left out so easily. Yeah, WHOM,
Um,
which is supposed to be an object form. Yes, the man whom I told you about has
yes.
arrived, but
Have a right.
now commonly it will be other. But I don't use a man who I told you about. No, I don't use that at all. I either use whom, WHOM, which sometimes is a little jarring on the ear, and then I go to that, THAT. So yes,
Yeah.
so the proper thing is that who is for people, and that is supposed to be for things.
For
But yet,
inanimate objects.
yes,
Yes.
but as I
Yes.
said, they use them interchangeably, especially whom tend to be so officious,
Mm-hmm.
tend to be so stilted, and
Yeah.
so since there's a stiltedness about it, people tend to plug in that.
But it could also be that uh uh it could also be that I always say when you say who, it means people. I don't use that, for
Yeah,
humans. Yeah.
generally, like I say, for a long time, that was supposed to be used for inanimate things or for things, and who was supposed to. And then, if you want to use any other thing which is coming close to the object position, then you use whom. The man whom I told you about is here.
Yeah, it's here.
Yeah.
So we go down, and you guys join in. You can, so how about lose and lose?
Yeah, that again, that's a problematic one.
Yes.
Some people will use LOSE for something that is missing when actually it's supposed to be the single O, which is loose. I mean,
Yes.
lose.
Yeah, lose.
LOSE is lose,
Yes.
and the LOSE is loose. You see?
And you know how I remember that? LOOSE. I
Mhm.
always remember it by saying shoelaces. My shoe ties, they are loose. LOOSE.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
LOOSE. Yeah.
Everybody try as much as possible to find that which makes it easier to remember.
Yes. And we've done effect and effect.
Yeah,
Another one,
yeah,
that perspective and perspective. Prof,
yeah,
lot of people use
yeah.
this perspective and
Yeah,
perspective.
yes.
Yeah.
What is your perspective? No, that's not. That's it. What is your perspective on this?
Perspective,
Perspective,
opinion,
opinion.
viewpoint. That's
Yes,
the
yes,
E. That's
yes.
the perspective.
That's
Yeah.
the perspective. Yes.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Because perspective, it comes from prospect, which means looking ahead.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the perspective of this? But
Mm-hmm.
my perspective
Yeah,
is
yeah,
ER.
yeah.
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 Okay. Oh, Prof, we're getting there.
Yeah. Now, every now and then, something like this is supposed to grab. For me, this and the subject area we are, which is tricks words play on, and even grammar. Every now and then, um, like in a year, I will run through key grammar points. In a year, I will run once, sometimes just like that. In the same way, in these things here, you want to make sure, especially if you're a writer, or as I said, language being something like wearing clothes, you want
Yeah.
to make sure if you are very much serious about how words are done, then it's important for you to even have a dictionary on the. I have, I know we have what I have. these little dictionaries right here. I have one.
Ah, okay.
Yes, and you can have one on words too, so that every now and then you can browse through before you write. Don't let somebody. I had a cousin. Every time this cousin would write and say, please forget about my mistakes. I was cooking. I was cooking, so I wasn't paying much attention. I said, well, why would you not finish cooking before? Why would
Before,
you not
yeah.
finish cooking before you write? Always, and that's not one time, as I say. I say, please save your excuse for yourself. Anyway, yeah.
This one every day and every day. I'll put it in a sentence for you. The first one, every day when I get home, I put on my everyday clothes. Yeah. Because every day, and then every day, some people tend to join it together, but it's not every day. It's almost
Yes,
a descriptive word.
yes,
Everyday clothes. Yeah.
yes, every day.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we come to prostate and prostate.
Uh,
Because people make mistakes, prof.
yeah.
Prostate. Oh, sorry. I can hear myself. Yeah. So okay. I spell it the same.
No, you didn't.
Prostrate. So it's prostrate. It's prostrate when you fall on the floor, right?
And then, of course, it's the arrow. The arrow is not on that
Yeah,
one.
the arrow
Yes,
is not there.
yes, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I'll put it here.
yeah. Prostrate is that of submission, lying flat forward. Yes.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah. Lying flat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. That's prostrate.
Supplication. Yeah.
Yeah. And I see a lot of people, they will say, oh, I have prostate cancer. No, you don't
I
have
know.
prostate. You have prostate
Yeah,
cancer.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yes. Yeah. So, that's kind of interesting, probably.
yeah. Mm-hmm. Talk
Some of the
about.
words.
Oh, you didn't go up there on that list. You didn't go up the may and
Oh,
might,
yeah.
secular
Okay.
and circular.
Okay. May and might. Let's do may
Mm,
and might first.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it may happen means there's a strong certainty
Yeah,
that it may
yeah.
happen, but happen might.
Yeah. Might is not too sure.
It's not too sure.
And also, it
Yeah.
may be that of the past for may. Okay.
Yes. And my favorite is when I wrote my paper on Liberia being a secular state,
Yeah.
and somebody wrote and said, I like your paper on Liberia being a circular state.
Uh,
And I said, in a way, he's right.
yeah, circular and secular. Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, in other words, if an individual knows what he or she is talking about,
Yes.
but of course, secular state, which is the SE, has to do with the difference between a theocracy and that of a secular. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah. And circular
secular
is,
is something spherical.
yeah.
Yes, yes. Mhm.
Okay, Prof, you take this one, lie and lay. Tell me what.
Okay, now the again, people need to be very careful about these words. Uh, People know lie to be not telling the truth,
Yes.
but it is a verb. It is
Yes.
a verb. If you act upon something, then it will be lay. If the thing by itself is like if you say that I lay my book on the table, the book is the book lies on the table. The
Yes.
book lies on the table. In other words, it is by itself, in a sense, being in that position, being in the reclined position. So you got to, and that is what comes out too when you are talking about the progressive form of it. I am lying down. Some people will
Yes.
get to the point of lay. I know it's not lay. I'm lying down. It's lying.
Lying.
Lying, which is, of course, sadly, the same thing as what somebody who is not telling it. You are lying. You are
Yes.
lying is lying. So
Yes.
if you do a lot of reading, that's where reading comes in. If you do a lot of reading, you will know that even though it's lying, you mean something else when the context tells you that. When the context tells you that. So lie may be a noun, it may be a verb. And if it is a verb, it is something reclining by itself. But if you cause that thing to recline, then it's lay.
Yes. Yes.
You
You
will not
getting there,
say,
Prof?
please lie my book on the table. You will say, please lay my book on the table. Where is your book? Well, you told me to lay it on the place
Put
that
it on the
is
table.
lying
Yeah.
on the what is lying on the. So you got to know that even though they are the same lying, may be something that is reclining by itself, or you are not holding the truth, which is you are lying.
English is hard, Prof.
It is again the starting point is true, but in reality, if you invest your time and energy in reading, again we come back to reading, it will be, and that's true really of any language. That's true of any language. Simply you have to fall in love with that language, and several things will fall in place.
Okay, let's go to the next one because I know you have another
Yeah,
engagement.
yeah.
Let's go to accept and accept.
You bring in this word that really can hit hard on people, uh, except, and I wrote someone recently apologizing for something, and I said, I'm very sorry for what I did, or I'm very sorry for what I said. Then the person said, I accept. And actually, this person meant I accept, ACCEPT. The person said
Okay.
EXCEPT, CEPT. So accept, to embrace something.
Yeah.
Yeah, to embrace something. And accept means to exclude
To
something.
exclude. Yeah.
So okay.
Yes. And advice and advice.
Yes. Uh, Again, that's one of those things in American English now. They are sometimes used
Interchangeable.
interchangeably.
Yeah.
So I mean, it cringes me really. But when I know I'm stuck with advise, which is the verb form of giving counsel.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
and advice is, which is the first one, is the counsel you are giving.
Yes.
The
Yes.
idea you are giving. So,
I advise her.
uh-huh.
I advise her to get some advice.
Yes, yes, very
Yes.
good. Yes.
Yes. And
Mm.
the other one is just like it's just like every day and every day. All right, I'm all
Mhm.
right,
Yes.
which is ALRIGHT. I'm all
Mhm.
right,
Yes.
and then all right is totally different.
Yes.
We're all right.
Yeah.
When we're saying something is not wrong, we are
Mm.
all right.
And the thing about it too is that others see that within the context of formal. Formal, in other
Yes,
words,
yes,
they use all right as a more informal type of thing, and all right they take it as being a formal way of saying, I'm okay, and something of that sort.
oh, where's my thing gone? Okay, sorry. I'm
Mm.
on two time zones here now. Okay, so and the other one is illusion and illusion.
Usual, yes.
Yeah, illusion is like reference.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
I'm alluding to
Yes.
something.
The
And then
verb
illusion,
is allude,
mhm,
ALLUDE, yes. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And illusion is like something that's false, that's not reality.
Yes, and yes, and another one should have added is illusion. Uh,
Yes,
yeah, that which is not reachable. That which keeps slipping from when you want it. So, uh, peace, peace in certain societies is an illusion. Illusion. You think you are getting to it, but you never so easily get to it. That's why conflict. We talk about conflict. So illusion. Yes.
yeah, like people will say the illusion, the ALLUSIO, and the illusion that she gave about the high crime rate in the
Yeah.
country is not
Yeah.
correct.
Yes.
And then people will say, the illusion of
Yeah.
safety is not
Yeah.
real. Yeah, things
Okay.
like that. Yeah. Oh, prof, a
So
praise and a prize.
yeah, a praise and a prize. A prize. The second one is to report, to
Yeah, to
inform
tell.
someone.
Yeah,
A
yeah,
praise is to assess something. assess.
Yes.
Mhm.
And then somebody is watching from Capital Bypass.
Oh, capital
Capital.
bypass. Yes.
Capitol.
Yeah.
Capital.
Toll bypass. Yes.
Yes.
Capital. Yes. It's different
Capital.
from capital is down there is a building. Capital is a major official city of a country. So
Yes.
you
In
can have
capital. In the capital.
yeah, yes, you can have a political capital, you can have an economic capital.
Yes.
As in the case of talking about Nigeria, you have Abuja and you have that other, what is the other? Lagos. Yes, you have
Lagos. Oh, you have forgotten.
yeah, Lagos uh,
And then we have dairy and
and
diary.
yeah,
That one is
there.
just a matter of spelling,
Uh-huh.
you know.
So again, the first one has to do with milk.
Yes.
The other one has to do with a journal, a personal journal you take.
Yeah. And then we have stationary and stationary property.
Yeah, yeah, stationary. The first one is, to be at a standstill.
Yes, you're not
Yeah,
moving.
you're not moving. And the other one has to do with, something like you talking about
Paper. Paper.
paper and all, and paper related items. If you are a secretary, if you are a secretary, you will talk about stationery. Okay, I haven't bought enough stationery as yet.
Yes.
Okay, but we were stationary for a very long time. They said we were going to go in 30 minutes, but we went. We were stationary for 3 hours. Yeah,
Stationary.
yeah, yes, yes, that's right.
And then
Now
people
you
make me.
have.
I have made mistake with this word when I'm writing climactic and climatic.
Oh, is that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
So climatic is like even when you're writing, you come to the climax of the story or the
yes,
movie.
it's
That's the
mhm.
CLIMACTIC
Yeah, very.
climactic.
That's true.
Yes.
And the other one has to do with weather condition and that
Weather.
sort of
Yes. Yep. We're learning today, bro.
yeah. And
Okay.
this one is a slippery one. Sometimes
Yes.
I make that too. Yeah, a slippery one. The complement and compliment.
Yes.
It's a slippery one. Okay. The second one has to do with commendation, thanks, and all that kind of praise.
Yes.
And the first one has to do with that which is connected to or completes a particular thing. Compliment.
Yes. Yeah. Compliment is COMPLIMENT. Like you giving somebody a compliment. Oh, you look nice today.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if we are talking about compliments of the season, that's the second one we are talking about,
Yes.
not the first one. Compliments of the season.
Yes. Well, my scarf that I have on, it complements my
Yes,
shirt.
yes,
COMPLEMENT.
yes. That's right. That's right.
Yes. We're
Uh-huh.
learning.
Yeah, that's it's going through some of these things is really fun. That is until you face a serious embarrassment. It's fun.
and
Until
and and
you,
and and, and so and the other one is we did illicit and illicit already. So
yeah,
emigrate and immigrate. So emigrate is
yeah,
really you're emigrating from a country
yes, 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 yes.
and you're immigrating to
In
a
the
country.
country, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. In other words, our brothers and sisters emigrated from America some many years ago to Liberia.
Yes.
They became immigrants in Africa, that sort of a
Yes.
thing.
Yes. Yes. Insure and insure.
Uh-huh.
Is there a difference?
Is it,
I
uh,
don't think so.
the first one is really to make sure.
So make sure. So yeah.
Uh-huh. To make sure. The other one is
Act
protection
of
or whatever.
insuring. Yeah.
Yes, but of course, it's got to. The interesting thing. Well, I don't know whether it's an interesting thing, but one thing about language, especially the English language we are talking about here, is that over time, eh, there's a statement which is that an error committed several times is no error.
It's no error.
Yeah, yes, whatever that is. But anyway, there are certain words which over time, because perhaps people in the high echelon society have had problem with them. Dictionary writers have glossed over them, and that is the thing with ensure and insure.
Yeah.
That is one of the things too, where to this day people talk about you can use they are for everyone and other. I don't use that. I don't use that at all. Something that is supposed to be in a particular category, for some of them they are just like that. So you can't just because you find people glossing over them a whole lot of time. Therefore, you want to make a excuse for that. No. So ensure that's we talk about father and father.
Yeah. For me, farther is like physical distance.
Uh-huh.
It's farther away. It's over
Yeah.
there.
Yes.
But for further, I would be like furthermore, or I say,
Mm.
okay, it's further
In
away. It's like
addition, in addition to
in addition to, yeah, yeah. And then
imi-
imitated and intimated.
inti-
So
imitated
imitated
to
is like
copy,
imitation. You
copy.
you're
Okay.
copying, yeah.
Uh,
And intimate is almost
yeah.
like referencing,
Yeah.
right?
Referencing.
Implied.
Okay. Or even close to, just like you talk about confidant or something like that,
Yeah.
intimated. Okay.
Or when you move a D,
Yeah, yeah, of course.
when you move the D, yeah.
Mhm.
And here's the one that gives almost everybody hard time.
Well,
It's
yeah.
and it's.
Again,
Bro, this
that,
thing bothers me
uh,
because people, well, not people, please, we all make mistakes with
uh,
it's and it's.
well, maybe on the first rush, fine, but you got to when you do a second reading, if you have not been using that, you will just identify it right away, because it has to do
Possessive.
with a possessive and it apostrophe s is contraction. You know,
It is.
yeah, it
It
is.
is. The second one is it is.
Mhm. And one of the things you even want to slip in has to do with let's and let us. Some people they for some reason they will delete the apostrophe and s and just let do the thing now, let go home now. That's what I'm doing. But let's see what that person is doing. Let us
Yeah.
see what that person is doing.
Okay, we're getting there.
Hmm.
Past versus past.
Yeah, that other one. Okay,
Yeah.
yes, that other one passed. Uh, you talk about in the past years, in the past years, mm, adjective out there, in the past years.
And past, PASSED, is the past tense of
Yeah,
PASS.
yes, that's true.
In
That's
the
true.
past,
Hmm.
in the PAST,
Yeah,
she PASSED by
yeah,
me.
yeah,
In the past, she
yeah,
passed by
yeah,
me.
yeah. That's right. Hmm.
And this other one, set versus sit, is almost like lie and lay.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
Yeah. Because my grandmother would say, set the book on it, set the table, go set the
Yeah,
table,
yeah.
right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And then sit is, I mean, maybe a lot of people don't make that mistake. But the one
Well,
that they
no.
make mistake
Hmm.
on,
Hmm.
access, asset, and excess. Prof,
Access.
it makes me
Uh-huh.
mad when people do
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yes, yes.
Access, which is the
Uh-huh.
first one,
Hmm.
is to gain entrance, right?
Yeah, yes.
That's a
Okay.
verb.
Hmm.
Then you have asset. My car is my asset.
Yeah, belonging. A
ASSET.
belonging, a
That's my
property. Yeah,
asset.
a property.
Yeah. And then excess, of course, is too
Yeah,
much. When
yeah,
you
too
have too
much.
much, that's
Yeah,
excess.
yeah. Hmm.
Yes. And then we did this one already, elude and
Hmm.
elude. Elude
Yes,
means to escape,
yes.
to go, yeah. Yeah.
Allude to, which is the allusion thing we were talking about earlier.
Yeah. To refer to something. And
Mhm.
then there's corroborate and collaborate.
Yes, okay, okay. That's another one.
Yeah.
Collaborate, to work with, to work together.
Yeah.
And that the corroborate is uh, merely in the legal field, you know, to a kind of confirm.
Yeah. The verb to confirm. Yeah. Yeah. And then we have detract and distract.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
And you can have detractors.
Mm-hmm. You can
Yeah, you
have
can have
detractors.
detractors.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But then distract is, oh, look, there's a, you're taking them away from,
Yeah. From,
you're
yeah.
losing focus. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hoard and hoard, Prof.
that's that's hoard is to gather and hide away. That's what comes merely in economics as well. And hoard has to do with a group.
A group, yeah.
That's a hoard. A
And we have
hoard of a hoard of flies. Uh, a hoard of flies was found at a gravesite or something of that sort.
yeah.
And when you hoard, those who want to make a lot of money, who want to gauge a price and what have you, uh, uh, they will just put several of the items away to create artificial scarcity, and then they start selling it at a higher.
And there's a show on television called The Hoarders or something.
Oh
So
yeah,
you,
yeah, where people go in there to kind of
yeah. Woof.
yes. Hmm.
Yeah. And yeah. So demure and demure.
Uh-huh.
So demure means I don't want to answer. If you
Okay.
ask me a question and I say no, 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 no.
Yeah.
That's the first one. I'm
Yeah.
demurring.
Uh-huh.
But demure is like a young girl who's shy,
Uh-huh.
she's quiet.
Uh,
That's the E at the end.
I hope that person does not become easy water running deep.
I don't know who you're talking about,
No,
Prof.
no, no. I say actually for me too. I growing up, I know I've continued to be a shy person, you know, but when I was growing up, people noticed that a whole lot. And when I do these days, when I tell them I'm still shy, they say, "Get away from here."
That's
I don't
not
know
true.
what that's. You talking to them? Yes, that's not true. That what are you talking about? That's not true. That I'm shy. I always say tell people that.
Ah, Prof. You shy?
Of course, people know that I'm shy. Okay, let's
Okay,
go on, please.
let's go on. Um,
Yeah.
here and here, but that one that's just
Hmm.
people make mistake, but that's okay. Heal
Hmm.
and heal. I
Hmm.
think yeah, that's okay. Heal
No,
is
that's
your
all. So all this, even the here and thing. Uh, if you read, normally I tell people when you are writing, um, make some time to read your work aloud. I tell
yes,
students that all
yes,
the time. There are two things: either you leave the work for, if it is going to be in a week's time, leave the work for a day or two and go back to it.
yes.
Or if it is pressing, the best thing to do is to read the work aloud, and you should be able to. If you know something about code switching meaning
Oh my
that
God, yeah.
that that you understand something about informal use and formal use. So if you can easily code switch from informal to formal, or from formal to informal, then you can so easily make those as embarrassing mistakes and throw them out of your paper.
Yeah, heal and heal. Heal is the one. HEEL is your
Mhm.
heel on your foot.
Yeah. Hmm.
HEAL is to get
Cure.
better.
Yeah.
But a lot of people mistake this leech and leech.
Yeah.
Right? Leech, the first one is to leak. When
Yeah.
something is leaking, like a
Yeah.
chemical, is
Yeah.
leaching. But leech is the animal that kind of the parasite that kind of
Yeah.
like sticks
That
to you
stick
and
to you.
sucks
Yes.
you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then of course there's ordinance and ordinance.
Hmm.
The second one is a gun.
Yes. Yes. That's right. And the first one is like a little law or something of that sort. Too.
Yeah. Oh, I think let's see if we have, I'm trying to see if oh, um we have been okay, I think we have one more. Oh my God, Prof, there and there.
Yeah. 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 Again, that's if you are careful, if the person is careful, if the person does much reading or what have you. But that area, it's more like I call them writing demons. That is a demon for a lot of students. They are,
They
especially
are.
is how It's how people speak. It's how people speak, and so that's what they kind of influence. That's what they allow to influence whatever they're doing.
They are, there is possessive.
Yeah,
And then there, pointing,
yeah,
THERE
pointing
is there.
adverb. Yeah, adverb. Mhm.
Okay, I put statue,
And
stature, and statute.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Statue has to do with
They want, executive pavilion. That's a statue.
statue. Yes,
STATUE.
yes. An image, a concrete image of something like that. Stature has to do with
Height.
height you relation
Or
to
your stature in society.
your stature.
Your stature in
Mhm.
society. And statute.
And that's from law now. It has to do with law, statute.
Yes. And then right next to it, let's just use that one. You are and your. People
You
use
are.
that interchangeably, Prof.
Yeah, and that's what happens in the first set on the page here.
Yeah.
Where we talk about there, there, and there. Yes, your.
Yeah.
And again, that one can, with the spelling, a spell check can really mess you up if you're
Yes.
not very careful with the
Yes.
your and you.
Because I've seen a lot of people write YOUR. You're
Yeah,
all right. You're
mhm,
all right.
yeah,
It
yeah,
should
yeah,
be you are.
yeah,
YOU
yeah,
apostrophe RE. You are all right.
Or
Yeah.
sometimes they even have the I went to your place. They will say Y apostrophe YOU apostrophe RE.
Yeah. Yeah. So some of these we've already done. If we come down to eminent and imminent,
Mm-hmm.
I think
Yeah,
that's another one that people make
I
mistake
we
about.
were one guy and my one good guy were on a report, and he was fumbling with eminent and imminent. I said, but how can you, someone of your stature, how can you get to this point of, you know,
Yeah.
eminent, that which is important and what have you, and
Yes.
imminent, that which is approaching, something like that, pending or something of that sort.
Yeah. And if we put it in a sentence, we would say, let me give William Tubman was an eminent person. That's the
Hmm.
first one.
Yes.
But there's they want to take my house for imminent domain. It's the
Yeah.
second one. Or winter is imminent. It's
Mhm.
coming. It's imminent. Yeah. I'll leave the second one to you. Resume and resume.
Resume. The first one is resume. The first one is resume. To start at a point, you stop at a point, and then you're picking up is resume. And resume is it has a French origin, which
Yeah.
is a sum of what you have acquired. I mean, what you have acquired as far as credentials are concerned, and what have you experiences and all the resume.
And people forget this other one, lighting and lightning. Lightning,
Yeah, yeah,
like thunder and lightning,
yeah,
you need an
yeah.
N.
Yes,
Lightning,
yes.
you need an N.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, this other one, I think I was tired, Prof. This other one, beside and besides, it should be an S.
Yes, yes.
So come
In
sit beside me.
besides
Come sit
is in
beside me is
addition
the
to.
first one.
Uh-huh. Comes to beside, yeah,
Yes.
next to, and the other one, which is the S, has to do with in addition to.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Besides.
Mhm,
Besides. Yeah.
mhm,
Amicable and
mhm.
amiable.
Yeah, amiable. The amiable has to do with someone who is lovable. You can. Amicable has to do with friendliness and what have you.
Yeah. So the root word ami from the
Mm-hmm.
French word
Yes.
friendly, friend, my
Uh-huh.
friend.
Friend. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
We
And
got
then I think we did
we
hoard.
did hoard already.
But what about pedal?
Okay, pedal. Uh, the last one has to do with using a stick or something of that sort to navigate.
Yes.
And pedal has to do, for instance, when it comes to uh, bicycle and what have you, the mechanisms by which you move a bicycle, it's a pedal and all that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And moral and morale.
Moral,
Moral
that
and
which is right, what is good.
yes.
And morale has to do with steering the spirit of something.
Yeah, the state of mind. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
yep.
Oh, Prof, I'm learning.
Well, we all are learning, so
Okay, and I think the last one is just correct usage
yeah.
of words, so we can look at that.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm,
So nip it in the bud. I see people writing nip it in
mm.
the bud, prof. It's like when you're cutting a tree.
Yeah,
You cut it
yeah.
off here, it's nip it in the bud. BUD.
Bud is a flower.
Yes.
Bud is a flower, but for some reason, if you want to just maybe it's getting in the way of certain things, that you have to nip it off, and that has become one of the idioms in the language.
And then first come, first served, not
Hmm.
served.
Yeah.
Because if you say first come, first served, it means the person who comes first, they will serve the others.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's first come, first served.
So yeah,
Yeah.
so many of these things there. Hmm.
And then amount versus number.
Oh, number. People should know now that number is for countable things,
Yes.
and amount like the number. I mean, it's plenty around here, even in America here, where they use amount more than they use number. The amount of people that came to the party. No, the number of people that came to the party.
Yes.
Okay.
And the amount of sand.
And yeah, the amount of
Yes.
sand, the
I'm
amount of
counting.
rice, the amount
Yes.
of the amount of rice.
We can count rice, prof. Let me tell you.
Green. Well, when you get to that point, there has to be grains of rice.
Yes.
Yeah, you
Yes.
put grains of rice. I can count the grains of rice, or I can count the grains of sand on the seashore. But used as a collective noun, used as uncountable noun, you have to do. So
And then
the short of the long here, as we said earlier, is think of the use of language as if you were thinking about the clothes that people wear. There are people who are loose with whatever they wear, and therefore they couldn't care less how they use language and what have you. But there are people who are uh, diligent, who are meticulous about the use of language. Not that the misuse of a word is going to put you in jail, but they want to make sure that when they write and you see the writing, you almost immediately want to quote from it
yeah.
because that person is very much careful about her. So if you want to be that person who commands respect, then of course you have to pay attention to some of these things we are talking about here.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then who always refers to people. We have that.
Mhm.
That
Yes.
is always used for an object. We have that.
Yes. Yes.
But yeah. I see a lot of people say irregardless, but
No,
irregardless is
no,
not.
no, no. It's colloquial. Regardless of what I tell you, go ahead and
Yeah. And Emmy root word is out.
hmm. What is
Out.
that?
So not emigrated from.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay,
Immigrate
yeah.
to.
Emmy is yes, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Immigrate, which is in.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Immigrate to.
Hmm.
And that is used when a phrase or clause that follows it is necessary in the sentence.
Yeah.
John, that boy is doing something, but you say,
Hmm.
John, who is carrying the thing? Why which is used when the phrase or clause that follow it is not necessary. It's
Yeah.
just an addendum.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's an addendum. Yeah, you put the two commas between that explanatory
Yeah.
thing, but it's
That's
not
that's often
necessary.
called that's often called the appositive phrase.
Yes, yes.
Appositive, appositive phrase. That's where you use the two commas. Yeah.
Mm, we
Hmm.
have learned today.
Well, and again, that that's where I still want to emphasize that uh, what we did is to lift some of those areas that tend to create embarrassment or what have you. But it is your turn now. I'm talking about the audience. It is your turn now to really have a first. You have to decide whether by your writing you want people to respect you, because what you write tells a lot about yourself. So from here, you want to get a dictionary of synonyms, you want to get a dictionary of common errors. All those become part and parcel of the tools, writing tools that you need to keep on your you need to keep on your study shelf, which is very much important thing for you. Yep.
And you know, Prof, another thing is that when we were growing up, we had the dictionary, you know, and we really would challenge each other,
Mm.
you know, to do some of these things. But now it's so easy to go online. It's so easy to, and that's how we say social media has really
Has done a whole
limited
lot, even
limited
though,
our
yeah, yeah,
vocabulary,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know. So I don't, I mean, I think that for writers it's important
Yeah.
that they know how to write. I mean, like
Mhm.
you say, for everybody, you
Mhm.
know. But you have to make it clear when you're writing. I had a quote I forgot to put. I think it was Mark Twain. He said, as to the adjective, when in doubt, strike it out.
Mhm. They'll
You
strike it
know,
out, and
strike it out.
it's very much important too, because too many adjectives and adverbs destroy the quality of your writing.
Yes,
If people
yes,
think that by piling off adjectives, they are making a point. But if it is, it's like salt is good for food. Hmm? Salt is good
yes.
for food. But if you take even a quarter of a teaspoon of salt and put it in your food, you might not enjoy the food. So adjectives and adverbs, they are part of the salt of language. You don't just want to overload that. Otherwise, you just don't make sense.
I know you're about to leave, Prof. So let's just look at the comments before you go. I know you
Mm-hmm.
have to go quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Hamilton Zawolo said, "Good, good. I love that. Thanks,
Yeah,
Hamilton."
Zaulo. Hi.
Stanley Say one is watching. Hi, Stanley.
Hi, Stanley.
Hamilton also, he's watching
Banga City.
Banga City.
Hi, that's great. Wow. Good
Augustine says
evening,
hello.
Musa. Augustine, session.
He said, are they antonyms? He's talking about antonyms,
You
I
see,
think.
there we go again, Anthony.
Yeah, exactly, Hamilton. You're talking about antonyms, but yet spell check, put it as
Yeah,
antonym.
yeah.
Yeah, yes, they're antonyms. Yeah. Good evening to you all. KK West says, he says,
Well,
I'm following from the district. See, K is right.
yeah.
Capital bypass.
By capital
Capital
bypass.
bypass.
That's good.
Yes. Save the state Liberia says, excellent topic. Thank you.
Save the state.
Oh yeah, yeah, save the state, Liberia. Yeah. And this focus on, oh well, prostrate. Yeah. Yeah, you have
Did it?
prostate cancer and prostate cancer,
Uh-huh.
and prostrate is to lie like that. Okay, that's me again. Belated Messi say, I'm joining you from Nima County, Barn City.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah. Advice and advice. So my
Yeah.
one says advice and advice.
Yeah.
Now, yeah. So my advice, my ADVICE
Yeah.
is to, is to get some. No. My advice to you is to go for somebody to advise you.
Yeah. Yeah.
ADVISE.
Hmm.
Prof, this thing is high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta play with it a whole lot then.
Holy said the program is educative and on point. Yes,
And
Hulin. Hi.
and and that's a good word he used, which is educative.
Yeah, educative.
Mm.
Yeah.
Now,
Yes.
if you had said educational, it relates to education and what have you. The same
Yes.
thing we talk about economical and economic.
Yeah.
Mm,
And also, like sometimes subject verb agreement, or
mm.
sometimes people are talking and they will say something and then they will forget to make it plural. But
Yeah,
even though you know that it's plural, like we
yeah.
say in Liberia, we say, oh, you have eaten the S.
Yeah, you
You
have
know?
eaten the egg.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people say in politic.
Hmm.
What's politic? It's in
Yeah.
politics.
Well,
You know?
that's
It's in politics,
yeah. Mm.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Yeah.
when I
So
see that, I just laugh and just move on. Mhm.
yeah, I think what's the saying? Brevity is the soul of wit.
Yes, brevity
So
is the
some people
soul of
want to,
it.
yeah, but also you have to be. I think we will in the future discuss about writing style
Mm.
for those who want to write. But
Mm.
it's very easy, Prof. It's very easy to make mistake with English. I
Yeah,
mean,
I mean, for your mind, sometimes if you are tired and you are working, that can happen. And then rushing through, that also can happen. That's why all those things become very much important.
Yeah, so it's
Okay.
so I would say that that's how we used to have the thing we used to like to have when we're at the university was the dictionary and the thesaurus.
Yes,
And we
yes,
would
yes.
argue
Or
and
student companion. Student
student
companion.
companion. We had that book, and that's what we would use. So with all of those, and also reading. Sometimes when I'm reading a book, it's underlined heavily because I'm like, what does this word mean?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I go back and I say, yeah. So we want to thank you for joining us.
yeah,
Prof has another commitment, and we've
mm,
kept him way ahead of time.
yeah,
You know, further along, Prof.
yeah. Well, it was good. Like these sessions, these sessions are often very interesting, especially when it's the laid back type of thing we're doing. Like I said earlier, uh, it's like talking about uh, those who have ears to hear, let them hear.
William wants us to use Grammarly. Yeah,
Grammarly is
but
sometimes
Grammarly,
it gets to the
you
point
must
of
know first before you
you
use Grammarly. You must know, William.
yes, yes, yes. The same thing even I tell students when it comes to research and you're doing citations. Yeah, they have a citation machine and whatever. If you do not know that very well, that thing is set up by human beings. You will have a problem. So yes, Grammarly does it, but Grammarly, sometimes what you put in is what you get out. Or sometimes Grammarly, gives you options. If you don't know which one to pick, you can pick
Yeah,
some nonsense and call it
yeah.
something, and then or wrong with it. So either way, the question,
There's a
the short
difference,
of the
Prof.
long, huh?
No, I said because you have to know the word.
Yes,
There's
the
a
short of the
difference for
long
you to
is
write
that
and say you
yes,
are unclear
yes,
or to say you are obtuse.
yes,
Although they mean the same, one is offensive.
yes.
Yes.
You see, so you really from the get go you have to know what you are doing. That's the key thing. It's
Yeah.
the same. Sometimes it's the same thing with calculation. Yes, you say, well, but not knowing your multiplication table and a few other things, you might run the risk of putting in the wrong thing.
Yeah. It's like, in a British, when you write spelling program, you say PROGRAMME.
Yeah.
And then program in America is PROGRAM.
So consistency becomes very much important.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Consistency becomes-
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, Prof. When
Yeah.
I want to say thank you to all of you who stopped
Yeah.
by. Thank you so much for joining us. We wish you all a restful weekend,
Yeah.
Prof.
And
Get
make
some
sure,
rest this weekend.
yeah, and make sure you think about the use of language just like the clothes you wear. If you
Yes.
want to always be speak and span, you've got to reach for something very important, very well said, or very well written, so that people will respect your write-ups every time they either go to Facebook or go to Messenger, whatever it is. They always say, "What is on your mind?"
Yeah. So
Okay.
we ask you to join us next week again for another focus on Liberia Literary Hour. We
Yeah.
will be here. We thank you for joining us. And Prof, do you have anything to say before we go?
No, just hey, as we always say, we say these things to kind of kind of stir you up to do that which is right. If it is thinking, you have to make sure that you think properly and all that, and write those things out. I agree. You have. Yeah. Okay.
William.
All right,
Yes, no,
Mister.
William, you have to know where to look before you start. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And we ask you guys, when we get here, we always say, join us on the show. If
Yeah.
you feel like you want to talk about some aspect of
Mhm.
literature or English or whatever, just join us. Tell us, send us an email and we
Yeah.
can bring you on the show and we can discuss because this is
Exactly.
your show.
Mhm.
Yeah. So again, we want to say thank you.
Thank
We know
you.
winter is coming. It's getting
Yeah.
cold now, Prof. Yeah. So take care. God
Mhm.
bless.
All
God bless
right.
Liberia. Good
Yeah.
night. Yes. Take care, Prof.
Yes, sir.
And we are, what would we say? We are all Liberians, so it's good to remember that always.
Yeah.
We are Liberians. Liberia is our home.